Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm expecting Eileen Delrossi to phone in, Fru Nkimbeng, Mike Smith, and then later we'll have Karla Miller visiting us, and maybe Dennis Galvin. We'll see.
Did Dennis call you and give you a maybe?
He sent me an email and said he's coming Tuesday.
I sent him a reminder Sunday.
Okay, well,
Monday.
we'll see how it works out.
Gotcha.
So, our national debt is up to $39.629 trillion. You know, and it's going up every second.
Mike Smith.
And there's Mike Smith. Hello, Mike.
Morning, Cliff. No Zoom today, so I guess we're doing the phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and we're live on the air.
Okay.
When I looked at my weather forecast on my phone last night, it said a low of 56, but driving in it was 55. High of 83, sunny. But yeah, it's a little crisp out there right now. In 1663, the English Parliament passed the Second Navigation Act, requiring that all goods bound for the American colonies have to be sent in English ships from English ports. It was one of the irritants of the revolutionaries. In 1794, during the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre is arrested after encouraging the execution of more than 17,000 enemies of the revolution. It was kind of a bloody revolution, the French Revolution. In 1866, the first, this is a long time ago, 1866, transatlantic telegraph cable is successfully completed, stretching from Valentia Island in Ireland to Heart's Content, Newfoundland. They had a passenger ship, a huge passenger ship that was not profitable, and they tore all that out, and they put these big tubs in there, and they put the cable in the tubs and fed it on out. The Great Eastern. In 1953, during the Korean War, we have cessation of hostilities. U.S., China, and North Korea sign an armistice agreement. Syngman Rhee, president of South Korea, refuses to sign but pledges to observe the armistice. Back in 1824, Alexandre Dumas Fils, a French novelist and playwright, was born. And Friday we noted the birth of French novelist Alexandre Dumas Père, who had been born in 1802. Died in 1958, Claire Chennault, American general, pilot, created the Flying Tigers over in China. Passed away in 1988, Frank Zamboni, American inventor and businessman, and founded the Zamboni Company. He'd been born back in 1901. Bob Hope passed away in 2003. Actor, comedian, television personality, businessman, big on the USO circuit. In 2013, Bud Day, Air Force Colonel, pilot, Medal of Honor recipient, was passed away. I remember Bud Day from the fact that he tried to roll a bread truck and failed. Today is the feast of the seven sleepers of Ephesus, and in Finland it's National Sleepyhead Day. So there we are. So Mike, is there anything additional on the FIFA Cup?
No, not that I know of. I mean, it was pretty exciting, like I said, to see the final and the third place game was even more interesting. The next men's World Cup will be in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. And my son and I were talking about trying to have a trip there in 2030 to see some of the games. It's going to be unique because it's the 100th anniversary of the first World Cup. And they're going to have some games in single game in Uruguay, Argentina. I'm trying to think of the third country to celebrate that. And then all the rest will be over in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. And they're expanding the tournament from 48 to 64 teams. So there'll be even more countries participating in it.
Did you see anywhere, are they going to have to build some stadiums for the 2030 games?
Yes, Morocco is going to be building a brand new, at least one brand new stadium for this. When my son and I were discussing it the other day. And I'm not sure about Portugal and Spain. I know that Spain has big stadiums because they're part of the European leagues and all that. So, in Portugal. But Morocco is definitely going to have to build at least one, maybe two stadiums.
Yeah, it'll be expensive for them.
The stadium they're building for the one in Morocco, my son was telling me, is going to hold over 100,000 people. I think he said close to 120,000 people, possibly.
Boy, that's a lot.
Yep, it's going to be big, big, big.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that. So, unfortunately, I was expecting Eileen and Fru to have called in by now, because my next topic is the folk festival, and you didn't go, did you, Mike?
No, I missed that one. Sorry about that.
So I missed it too. John?
Would have been a little bit more of a trip for me than I'm used to taking down here. So
Yeah. John, did you
I
go?
enjoyed it on television. It was fabulous. Looked
Yeah.
at tons of pictures on Facebook, and great stuff.
My grandson said it's an impediment to DoorDash because they closed down all the streets in downtown Lowell, but there's still people living there trying to get food for their meals.
That way your grandson works?
They part-time DoorDash in the evening.
Understood.
So did they, when you said they closed it down, impediment to DoorDash, they closed down the street for the entire day or just part of the day?
Day and night.
Day and night, yeah.
Oh, so, okay. Well, I mean, is he saying that there's people that the only way that they can have meals is just through DoorDash?
No, but they wanted to have it through DoorDash.
Well, sometimes, life has a way of twisting things around on you. You don't always get everything you want. They may have had to actually go in the refrigerator and turn on the stove and cook a meal themselves then. So.
Well, in this case, it meant my grandson had to park outside of downtown and walk, which is okay for him. He likes to go walk.
Yeah, I mean, so look at the bright side of it. He got more exercise for the day. It's better for his health.
Yeah.
So, you see, he's looking at it from the wrong perspective.
So On the License Commission, we handed out a lot of licenses in the last couple of meetings for sidewalk stands, for sound outside, and for additional alcohol sale options. I think Corey Belanger got 8 licenses for city-sponsored drinking opportunities.
So, do they allow some of those for people to walk around with a drink in their hand then? Is that some of the ones that they're doing?
I don't think that that's encouraged, no.
Yeah, because our new city hall here in Largo, Florida, they just opened it back up. Just opened up the new hall earlier this year in May. And the latest I've seen from the city council is that they're going to try to develop an entertainment district around the city hall area. And for some of the establishments, they can apply for a license. And as long as you stay within the posted signs they'll have up, you can walk around when they have like music festivals and stuff like that. You can get a drink at the approved restaurants or bars, and you can leave them with your drink and walk around to all the other places.
Yeah, Massachusetts, the General Court, the legislature, passed a law that would allow that kind of thing up until the end of July. It was part of the FIFA Cup participation. But it's got to be implemented by each individual community. And we
so that's only a temporary one, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this one would be, year round, for when they have activities and that.
Now, we are going to, at a future meeting, we're going to consider new regulations with regard to alcohol. Hang on a second, Mike. Hold and accept. Hello, Fru? Fru, we're talking about the folk festival. Did you go to the folk festival?
Oh yes, please. I went there. It was one of the best for me. I will send you a video. I went there with my really traditional African attire, and so many people walked up, people that I don't know, to come and talk to me and took pictures with me. And I saw this American woman who came from, I think, somewhere in the suburbs of Boston. She came and looked at my tire and asked me if I were a Fulani. Fulani is a tribe, it's a very prominent tribe in Africa, around the Sahel. So I said no, but the hat is from Burkina Faso, and then the dress and the beads are from Cameroon. He said, I lived in Mali for 10 years with my family.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, that's what the lady told me.
Oh, the lady told you. Yeah, she lived there.
The lady told me that she lived in Mali for 10 years. She's been to Nigeria, she's been to Cote d'Ivoire, and when she saw me, she was at a distance. So that hat actually attracted her to me. So we had a wonderful conversation and exchanged numbers.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. I toured the music. The temperature was just perfect. It wasn't too hot. It was warm but cold breeze blowing. Yesterday though. I wasn't there on Saturday.
Yeah, well, it's a 3-day event. Can't cover it all.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike the the License Commission is going to review some regs on alcohol. We've had a couple of incidents. A couple of weeks ago, somebody advertised a 14-year-old event, and the business is not exactly a famous restaurant. It's more of an alcohol establishment, and it just seemed inappropriate. And then this weekend there was a fight outside of some establishment. The policeman got a concussion out of it. That's not good. So I'm sure they will be visiting us to explain what the heck was going on. Not a good thing. Now, the License Commission isn't going to try anybody for assault and send them to jail. That's the job of the courts. But if the establishment did not perform its responsibilities properly, the License Commission can suspend the license for a period, can revoke the license, can shorten hours, do things like that, which are not good for the business. So.
Well, the most important thing is public safety.
Yeah. That is true. We don't want bar fights downtown. So
we want the people to keep coming to the festival. We've had it now for more than 35 years. We don't want anything that will cause public uproar to keep people away.
Yep. So President Trump gave a speech about 10 days ago pushing his Voting Reform Act, and then the New Jersey governor admitted she had 65 illegal registered to vote, and 400 of them did vote. I thought that was kind of interesting. Ed Markey, our junior senator here in Massachusetts, the one that's up for election this year, he called on the night of the president's speech for the president to be impeached. I don't think that we're at the impeach the president stage, but that's what he did. Here's what he says. Trump must be impeached for undermining and subverting our free and fair elections. And, yeah, I don't think so.
I thought it was interesting that as soon as they had, the New Jersey governor had to admit that there were illegals registered to vote and 400 actually did, they immediately tried to deflect and blame the federal government, that it was the federal government's fault for them letting these people register to vote. Well, the federal government doesn't run their registration system. The state does. And of course they said, well, the federal government cut money to us to do that. Well, I know in Florida that when you register, when you get your license, and you're new as a resident of Florida, they said, do you want to vote? And you have to show your birth certificate and some other stuff. If you want to vote, you have to bring that with you. That's just part of the regular process, Dave. So I don't understand that. And then the bigger question is, we keep talking about, everybody says, oh, there's no problem with the elections. And they even say, well, only 400 out of 6,600 voted. But 6,200 more could have voted, even though they didn't. And it shows that there are gaps in our voting system. And when the people see there's gaps in the voting system, then that puts in their minds, it doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, independent. It puts in people's mind is, are these integrity of the elections, are they correct or aren't they? And that's the bigger question that I always ask, because it puts a lot of distrust in people. Instead of saying, yes, we have elections, there's no problems with them. Well, now you find out that, what some of the stuff that Trump was saying is there. And we need to be more vigilant, because once people don't trust the elections, then we have problems with our government, as far as trusting anything that goes on.
Yep.
Well, and it also goes without the same thing that the American people are very, very smart. It's all politics. Because if they want to change the system at the early age of any administration in the White House, they should continue. When once the midterm are just months away, you see all these accusations on all these flarings are coming up. Americans are not dumb that you can continue to fool them and use the media and try to change the narrative to suit whatever. They already know. It is not, we are not, or whoever is trying to do this. They have their core supporters who believe in them, and they are being manipulated. But the greater, mostly the younger generation, they see through all this. That is just campaign gimmick. They know that the midterms are coming around the corner. They will frame everything, twist everything, call some groups socialists, Democrats, and call whatnot. But the American people, I think, the voters are very, very smart, and they should be watching the media very well, because they will continue to twist the narrative.
Yep.
No, I agree with you, Fru, that people are smart enough to see stuff. What bothers me is overwhelmingly after poll after, doesn't matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, the whole thing with showing ID to vote is overwhelmingly, over 80% of the people in poll after poll say, yeah, we don't have, there's no problem with us having ID to come and vote. So I don't understand why it's so hard to get something like that done, because in country after country, the U.S. is one of the very few that don't require identification to vote. I mean, I asked Kathy about this. She says, oh, yeah, we have to show identification when we vote in Canada, when she's voted before. And my son, I asked him, they have to show identification when they vote in New Zealand. So I don't know why that's such a big thing that, they can't agree on that, the Congress, to say, yes, you need ID to vote.
Well, Mike, that's very true. But what is spoken in public, the real politics is when the lights are out. There are also gerrymandering in also how to issue the IDs. We are talking in big cities up north. Go down to the south, where this kind of depopulizing and discouraging people, and also coming up with tactics to disenfranchise the blacks and the minority. Let us not sit here and pretend that doesn't exist. You see, when we are in New York, we are in Boston, we are up north, we seem to talk as if the 80% is relative to who is speaking and what you are talking about. You go down south, they have intentionally and deliberately made the system so hard for those who can vote to vote. And those are the people who will come up with ID, because they know that the ID thing will benefit them, because they have the system in place. I think what is in our country, you can talk whatever you can talk, but it is the system. If we change the system and hand power to the population, instead of people that we elect to go there and fight for us, but they are going there and fighting but for themselves and for their party. I mean, both sides. So once they hold the microphone, they keep on changing the narrative to inflame the other side and make them seem as if they are the only ones who are bringing reforms. No. I think we are in the 21st century. And the media is at the fingertips of everyone. We cannot still control the American population, educated population, as if we are controlling the third world.
For some reason, you evoked a memory in my mind, Fru. I was in Selma, Alabama, well, just outside of Selma, at Krieger Air Force Base, in 1964 and 65. I was there for the Freedom March. Although I didn't march, I was restricted to base like everybody else. But we had international students going through pilot training, and one had from Pakistan had the name of Sharif, spelled like sheriff, and he had some business downtown, and he went down to the city hall, and he parked in a parking space that said sheriff.
It was reserved for him.
And so when he comes out, there's a policeman writing him a ticket. And the policeman starts to scold him, and he says, this is America. Everyone has their own parking space. I am sheriff. And he holds up his ID card. And the policeman gave up and ripped up the ticket, but it just struck me as something funny. And
go ahead, please.
The what?
I think go ahead.
Yeah. So even in a tense city like Selma, there was still a little bit of humor somewhere. I thought that was...
Yeah, and then I was
ahead.
just equally going to add that in the late 90s, from 1999 to around 2008, some of us Africans were involved with the police, trying also to sensitize the police about immigrant perspective, how they react to police and from their own country of origin. And that brings them here to reacting and thinking that unconsciously, not knowing that they are in a different society. And that, like, from their country of origin, you can get out of your car and go to the police. But the police here were so patient to invite us to come to their meetings and actually sensitize them. That was really policing, because they wanted Lowell is a world city. And if you really want to travel around the world in 7 days, come and spend 7 days in Lowell. You would have visited all the 7 continents. So the police were patient to actually listen to us Africans and immigrants around the world. Wasn't that a sense of saying that we want to know the constituent, that form the people that we take care of, that we can understand them, and that opened a very sensitive way for the communities to be able to interact with the police. And the African communities and all the Asian communities could now understand each other. But that was the initiative of the police.
That's good. So, speaking around the world, we haven't done an update on how are things in Cameroon. And, 93-year-old Paul Biya, is that how you pronounce the president's name?
Oh, Biya?
Biya. He's still in office after 44 years. Heck, he's doing better than most monarchs. But so I looked up the Cambodian diaspora.
The Cameroonians, not Cambodian, Cameroonians.
Yes, thank you. My brain slipped there. There were 16,894 Americans of Cameroonian origin in 2010, and in 2023 that was up to 90,749. And then I happened to stumble on something in which it was suggested that the first slave in Virginia, John Punch, who arrived in 1640, was from Cameroon. And I never would have thought of that.
Cliff,
So-
would you consider looking at the screen once in a while?
Yeah,
Thank you.
unfortunately, I'd need a mirror, but yeah. So the Wikipedia said that we have Cameroonians in Ohio, New York City, San Diego, Illinois, Houston, Pittsburgh, Maryland. So spread out, and it seems to me we have a decent-sized Cameroon community in Lowell. From my work at the License Commission, I think I must deal with a Cameroonian person, or we, the License Commission, deals with a Cameroonian person every meeting, so that's twice a month. Fru, what's your sense? How many Cameroonians are in the local area?
Well, Cliff, I have to commend you, and I really would like to rely on your statistics. That equally will help me. But first of all, I want to commend you for taking the patience to do that research. That research is very important for me as a Cameroonian, and then for us as Cameroonian, we can use that research. I'll be reaching out to you, and thank you for what a great job you did. But talking about the 93-year-old man, you know, any leader is only lasting in Cameroon, mostly this old history, if the colonial master allows them to stay there. And who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about France. You know very well that France has gone shortage of electricity. There are some which the media doesn't cover it. In some places they were rationing electricity because of the free and cheap uranium that they were getting from Mali, paying Mali only in cents. And when Mali took over, Mali per capita went up. At the world market, they were selling their uranium $200 above what France was giving them in cents. But the whole of France was electrified. And French radio and the Western radio, they will say Mali is the poorest nation, infrastructure, but that is the media. He who controls media controls the narrative. And we are in this country, some ignorance, they will turn and look at Africa. Oh, you cannot govern yourself. Oh, you cannot do this. But knowing that if Africa stands up to govern themselves, those who benefit freely from the resources coming from Africa, they will not allow. And that is what, on this show, we have been trying to let us think beyond, not remain in the box that the media, social media, and politicians have put us into. Throw the box away and think critically. You will be able to understand and analyze what is going on around the world. But coming to the 93-year-old man, can you imagine that while the guy is in France or in Switzerland, in the hospital that he built in Switzerland, he hasn't built any hospital in Cameroon. He's now dying in Switzerland, and the wife was here watching World Cup, and also, showing it on social media. Look at that picture, and you have abandoned the country and here, but you should equally know that the mentality in Cameroon is quite different from the French side, which is almost 80% of the population. They are living in a box controlled by France. And that is why from the English side, which you very well, and John and Mike, you have talked so much about Southern Cameroon and Amazonia, we are the only ones saying that, no, we need our freedom. And for 10 years, they have massacred almost 150,000 southern Cameroonians, and the world has not paid attention because France has connived with the Western media not to shed light on that.
Yep. But there's still resistance amongst out in the people that have left Cameroon, right? People are networking.
But you can only win war or win a revolution on the ground, not outside.
Cliff, we got some past text I'm going to show you. And starting off with, good morning, the Zamboni is one of the only successful electrical vehicle that makes sense. That's in Jay's world. Jay doesn't realize that locomotives for trains are all electronic. They're all powered by electricity. Ed Markey also said, after President Biden's speech was powerful and had a meaning, Ma Swamp Creature. And the last text I'm going to read right now is, anytime there is a voting irregularities, why are there more mail-in ballots that always go towards the Democrats? And featuring a picture from the Lowell Senior Center this morning, having some fun over there. So back to you, Cliff. Thanks.
Okay. Well, it's just a topic we need to keep an eye on if we're going to be informed. So, do you have anything you want to wrap this up with, Fru?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thankful that I am in this group. I learned a lot from all the perspectives. Mostly Mike giving his own perspective, which is very informational, and I think I agree in most of the things with him, and that we are not intimidated to share our own opinions, and that our opinions are our own opinions, and I pray that our audiences should take it as such, not as if we are claiming that we know too much. If you really want to hear fair and balanced news, tune on City Life, the Dawn Patrol show, every Monday 6 to 7.
Yes. So, Fru, you sent out something a couple of weeks ago, and we just haven't gotten around to it, which asks the question, is there genocide in Gaza? And the definition that was provided was a systematic and widespread extermination or attempted extermination of a national, racial, religious, or ethnic group. The alternative, systematic killing of substantial numbers of people on the basis of ethnic, religious, political opinion, social status, or other particularities. So Fru had found a video of someone telling Tucker Carlson that Israel is conducting genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza. And I've heard this mentioned...
by me, for sure.
By other people. It is so tempting to say something there.
Go ahead, say something, Cliff.
There's a lot of dead people. The people in Gaza are claiming 70,000. I expect that's an exaggeration, versus 1,400 on October 7th, which is what kicked off this current situation. So, does Israel want the end of Gaza?
What do you think? What's your own definition? Because when you just oppose 1,400 as opposed to thousands of people and their whole life, their whole residence brought down to rubble, that narrative, that picture that you are painting there is not honest, and it is not just, and that is what it is bias reporting. Blood is blood. Whether it is 1,400 or 20,000, we should condemn it as such, because if you put it on the scale and try to weigh it, and you see where the pendulum tilts, it shows that human beings are equal on both sides.
Yeah.
When you paint it your own way, you seem to paint to tilt to intentionally poisons the objective mind to look towards another area as if it is more, like Mike said last time in George Orwell's book, Animal Farm, as if 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
Yeah. On the other hand, out of Gaza continues to come attacks on Israel. Is that not true?
What?
That Hamas has continued its attacks on Israel.
Well, that is very true. And if you equate the destruction and the number of lives destroyed from Israel, have you ever said anything that Israel has done that is bad? Let's be honest. If you are fair and I will take one moment to criticize Israel on something, then people will say, no, Cliff, you are not a spokesman for only one side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that Israel is overdoing it in Gaza, but I don't think that it's reached the area of genocide from 1948 to today. The population of Gaza has gone up from under 1 million to what, over 1 million? I had that written down somewhere once upon a time.
Well, at what point is it Holocaust, Cliff? How many million have to be murdered by a government for it to be a Holocaust in your mind? The Jewish state of Israel, the Israeli government is killing people in Gaza wholesale. Babies, everybody, killing them wholesale. At what point is it
So
going to
from
be...
your statement, Cliff, about the population of Gaza multiplying, so is that an indirect way to ethnically cleanse them because their population has risen? Is there anybody, a God, to determine the life of someone because of their population? Why should it be that some people are so scared about population? That is what causes genocide, and that is what the media tries to cover. But in their speaking, if you listen very well, their words and everything about the population, growth and everything, it is about to massively destroy other human beings with irrespectively.
Well, I think one of the things that plays in the...
But that might be closer to your mouth, Cliff.
It could be. One of the things that plays in the deaths in Gaza is that Hamas has placed its facilities under hospitals and schools, hoping to protect their soldiers with sick people and children. And this is... results in increased casualties. So.
Well, I'm afraid only that when I speak like this, some people say I am pro Hamas. That is what the narrow-minded, when once you speak up the truth objectively, they give you a label. Give a dog a bad name so that you can crucify. Many people have lost their lives because of speaking up the truth. And then there are some of us who intentionally pretend to speak the truth, but they are speaking in codes and in tongues, and people hear them and they see them. We are in the 21st century.
Comment from the audience. The younger generation don't have to think independently. They all have cell phones and parents that put them on pedestals and tell them they are all victims. I don't believe that, but I understand your comment. Thank you, Jay.
So,
You know, I've been listening, Cliff, to everything,
yeah,
and take it all in. The thing is that I always ask the question is, why was it so easy for a terrorist group like Hamas to take over Gaza? See, that's, because if you get to the root, why were people willing to let a terrorist group like Hamas be in control? If you get to why that happened, then you can look at the picture in a bigger sense. So by Hamas taking over Gaza, there obviously Israel and Hamas do not get along. So again, that just brings the tension and all the conflict together between those two groups. But why was it so easy for Hamas to have taken over Gaza? And Hamas has their agenda, obviously, so does Israel. And, that's a no-win situation for Gaza or Israel when Hamas took over. So why was it so easy? Because from what I've read, it didn't take very long for Hamas to take over control. So what caused that to happen? And if you could get to that root, then you might have been able to figure out why, it's blown up so much between Israel and Hamas and Gaza.
And Mike, if I can just compare that from an African perspective, if any true election that takes place in Africa, these dictators will be wiped out. And the Western media will come in and say that it was corrupt. They bring their own monitors. Those monitors are coming in to defend what either France, if that country is Cameroon, either Belgium, if that country is Congo, either Spain, if that country is Equatorial Guinea, either Angola, if that country, colonial master is Portugal. So if you look at it from that point, you are talking about Hamas. How did they come on? Was it not through an election? And if the people choose their own government, and if you don't like, what is democracy? Is this democracy to be remotely controlled by a power somewhere and only choosing the people that favors them? If you look, that's the problem around the world. Because there are some people who feel that when the people choose their own leader and their leader, they don't like it, they will say it is socialist, it is communist. Just because they want a stooge, someone will come and serve their interest instead of serving the interest of the people. A good example was Libya, Gaddafi. He was a poison pill to the West. I was watching a documentary last night about how Libya pumped good water into pipes into a desert in Libya. The Western world cannot point that, but they always show, because doing that was going to open the eyes of all other Africans not to be dependent on the West.
Well, I never said there was any corruption in their elections. What I'm asking is, anybody who realizes that Hamas and Israel hate each other.
That's true, Mike.
Yeah, so I look at it this way. There was no way that what's happening was not going to happen. With Hamas taking over Gaza, anybody looking at it from a non-bias is going to say these two groups, these two entities hate each other. There's going to be war, there's going to be conflict, there's going to be suffering. So my question is, what caused the people of Gaza to say we'd rather have Hamas in here than something else, knowing that there was not going to be a good outcome from this? And that was my question.
And then the answer I was giving is, if the people of Gaza choose their own, whether the other person likes it or not, they gave them that opportunity. They chose them over the Palestinian liberation of then was Yasser Arafat. If my history, please correct me. I may be wrong in my thoughts.
I think you're right.
I got another wrangle I want to talk about when he's done.
But by the way, I was in Libya when Muammar Gaddafi took over.
Let me just
How was Libya before Gaddafi?
let me just draw your attention to another scenario.
King Idris was in charge.
Okay.
Yes, how was Libya before Gaddafi, Cliff?
It seemed okay to me, but it was a bit of a dictatorship with King Idris. It wasn't a flourishing democracy. But,
I know you don't care for my opinion, Cliff, but I'm going to give it anyway.
Hey,
Fru,
they will like him.
Fru, back down for a second.
John.
I'm going to finish in just a second,
John.
okay? Cliff, look, I'm not putting up with this malarkey, okay? Put my hand up, you ignore that. I try to interject, you ignore that. I'm going to give my piece. So here we go. Disney World. Everybody knows Disney World. Now, if the people in Disney World decide, you know what, we're taking this place over. We're voting that this is our property, not Disneyland's property. Who's right and who's wrong? Governments feel they develop a country, they put roads, bridges, water facilities, and they've invested all this time and effort organizing a country, and then you have the population say, we're taking it back. So what would you say to the Floridians who say, we're taking over Disney World? Fru, what would you say to the Floridians that want to take over Disney World?
Are you asking me, John?
yeah.
Please, can you rephrase it because John was not coming out clearly, please?
Well, John is saying, what about the Florida government taking control of Disneyland back from
the attendees
Disneyland?
in the park. The attendees in the park.
John, that's
my
not what
example.
happened.
That's okay.
But John would like to say, what about if the people in Disneyland took it over and took it away from the big corporation?
Well, they cannot do that because they are getting a lot of money too from the big corporations. The big corporations are not there just for free. They are bringing tourism and they are bringing a lot of economic vitality and so many. You have to be an economist. Don't just think narrowly for one-sided. It is a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the Hamas-Israel situation, it's a lose-lose situation for everybody.
Very true, Mike.
Yeah,
True.
and that's the thing is people keep talking about, how bad this is and all that, but how is it going to change when you have a group like Hamas that hates Israel and wants to wipe them off the face of the earth? Israel's not going to stand for that. So unfortunately, so they're both at it, and then the people in Gaza, they all suffer because they're the collateral damage, because neither group cares about them. They only care about each other, going after each other, Hamas and Israel. So the Gazan people, they're the ones, the Palestinian people, they all suffer because now the people in Gaza and Palestine there, they have no control anymore because Hamas controls everything for them, and Israel doesn't like Hamas, so it's just not, I don't see a solution to it.
Mike, I seem to agree with you, but how would you go ahead? Every discussion, every struggle always end at the table of discussion. But how can you trust people who don't keep their words on both sides? We see that at the international arena playing today. You have to have good faith to come to a negotiation. And when you come to a negotiation, I mean, you say something, just because the wind follows you and you have leverage, you cannot come back to the little guy and keep changing and keep changing. You are pushing into
Well, wait.
I agree, bro.
There's something that's happened, and I haven't been able to track the outcome, but the Hamas civilian government has stepped down. Being good, patriotic, Second Amendment kind of people, they've elected to keep their guns. But there has been a change in Gaza, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it. But the Hamas civilian government has stepped down. Does anybody have any
You're
insight
not
on
going to hear
that?
about it until the Israelis kill off all those Hamas people. You're not going to hear about it until then. They want no cameras there. They want no news reporters there. Go to the Ukraine, cover that war. Leave us alone. We're handling this. Get out of our backyard.
Okay. Back to Fru and Mike.
I haven't heard anything, Cliff. But why is it that they have completely shut off the media? You know what is going? You know what is going on now, and who controls the media in that area to shut the world over? There is a lot of terrible things going on now. The mere fact that they don't talk about it doesn't mean that everything is quiet. It's just simply because it's over controlled.
Do you think Wolf Blitzer's ever going to say anything against Israel? The news media is loaded with Jewish people who love Israel. You're never going to get negative reporting.
Well, actually, I think you do get negative reporting. All this reporting from the college campuses with college students running around saying from the river to the sea. I don't take that as a friendly Israeli comment. Do you?
No, it's not. It has to be dealt with.
So,
And I think they have dealt with it rather handsomely. At what point do they stop? At what point should the Nazis have stopped killing the Jews? When they got to 1 million? When they got to 2 million?
When you listen to the media objectively, why are Orthodox Jews? I mean, have you listened to them? Just put the Jewish people in that area to debate. Why are they fighting amongst themselves? Why are two different ideologies going on? Why can't we focus on those groups so that they are the ones to educate the world?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think Moses would approve of all this killing. I know Jesus wouldn't, but I don't think Moses would have approved of all this killing. So they should look to their God and ask for forgiveness.
and Hamas having taken down the Nova Musical Festival, Hamas is a one-and-done operation?
Sorry, we got to go, Cliff. We'll be back. Thanks.
Karla comes over here.
So, are you on a hot mic?
Yeah. Oh no, we're on a break right now.
Oh, you're on a break right now? Okay,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. My co-host Eileen Delrossi is on the phone. We have Mike Smith on the phone from Florida, and we have Karla Miller here in studio. How are you, Karla?
Good, how are you?
Good. And of course, we have our producer. So, Karla, you're running for office, right?
Yes, I'm running for now the open seat for state representative in the 16th Middlesex District. That includes North Chelmsford, the Westlands, Pawtucket, excuse me, Pawtucketville, and Centerville in Lowell.
Okay.
So Chelmsford and Lowell.
So Karla, tell us a little bit about yourself. Were you born in Lowell?
No, I was, well, technically at Lowell General. I grew up in North Chelmsford. You know, went to school and everything in Chelmsford. But my roots are in Lowell. Both parents, on both sides, came from Lowell. Most of my relatives, almost all my relatives, lived in Lowell. So I spent a lot of time in Lowell when I was younger, and all the way through high school, excuse me, and after high school. So, I feel like, Lowell's, I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Lowell's been part of my life for many years.
Did you go
I
off?
live there now. I live here now.
Yeah. Did you go off to college?
I did. I attended U Lowell. Right now currently and have been a real estate agent, and have been involved in politics since about 2021. I mean, really got involved with the Republican Party, and I'm at the point where I've run a couple of times. I didn't expect to run again, but the seat became open again, Rodney Elliott's seat, and a Republican did not step up to run, so I felt the need to get on the ballot once again. And I really want to stress the fact that the issues in this state, and it's every day there's something new that comes up that is is horrifying of what's happening. And we are run by one party, and that needs to change.
We're run by one guy,
Yes, you're right. One man.
one elected official, whether be
one
he
speaker.
Republican or Democrat, runs the state.
Correct. But the
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the correction, Cliff. Move on.
In a democracy, it's a bottom-up kind of thing. Are you suggesting it's a top-down kind of thing?
well, I think what John is saying
Fact in
is,
Massachusetts, the
I think-
Speaker of the House is the boss.
I think John is correct in saying that, but that doesn't mean that the people that are the elected officials, the Democrat elected officials, don't have the right to go against the Speaker. They have every right and they have every opportunity to vote against the Speaker. I'm not sure why that isn't happening because, what you were talking about in the first
Well, respectfully, Carl, if the Republicans win
Mm-hmm.
and a Republican becomes the Speaker of the House, he will magnetize the power that he has. He's not going to relinquish it. And I should say he or she, the Speaker of the House of Massachusetts is not going to relinquish all the power they have. Power corrupts, absolutely. The only solution to this is to bankrupt the state of Massachusetts. You have to bankrupt the state in order to reorganize this government. And I tell all the youngsters who are out there, move to New Hampshire as quick as you can. Get out of this state. We are nuts.
Well, again, you're right, John.
I'll put a tax on that.
You're right about we were heading towards bankrupting the state. We are living under socialism right now. Our tax money is being hijacked, and it's being used for things that we never in our whole lives expected it would be used for.
Like drag queen parties?
Exactly. We are now, the latest thing is that our lawmakers advanced a bill to establish an Islamic Government Commission. Okay, so what is happening is that Maura Healey is now pandering, and our government is now pandering to the, I don't know how many Islamic voters there are in this, in the state of Massachusetts, but it's the same situation as Minnesota with the Somalis. Their whole existence in the Democrats in the state are to hold on to power and hold on to power forever. And everything they do is to work towards that. So now they have a voting bloc. They're realizing that they have a voting bloc of people that are that are Islamic, and they want to keep that. They want them to be voting for the Democrats. Whether some of them can vote now, I don't know, but in the future, it's all about holding on to power. And they want to they're just picking a religious group, and giving them power in Massachusetts. Are you aware of that? Have you heard about that?
Our state senator, Vanna Howard, your state senator,
Exactly.
is pushing this.
Yeah.
Hey, Cliff, your program note. So Dennis is coming Friday instead of today.
Okay.
I'm asking.
I don't know.
I'll send him a text. Thanks.
When I saw that, I thought, this is strange. We have Muslims as U.S. reps in the U.S. Congress. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, for instance. So they seem to be in a position to exercise their rights as a U.S. citizen. What is the problem here in Massachusetts?
These people aren't being elected. Okay, we're not electing these. This is a commission, a separate commission.
Yeah.
To give them more rights than we have.
Well, I think that they believe that what they want to do is
News, talk, information, and entertainment for the Merrimack
Is-
Valley at 980 AM.
what they want to do is make sure they're exercising their full rights. But I don't see some commission saying something like that about the Amish or the Mormons or anything else. So it just seemed a little strange to me.
I think it's more than strange. I think it's very, very scary. Very scary.
It's the way we roll in Massachusetts.
That's right. So when are the voters of Massachusetts going to stop taking the abuse that they're handing out down at the State House? When are the voters going to
Respectfully,
realize?
Karla, we voted for an audit. The state overwhelmingly
Right.
voted for an audit. And the speaker said, ignore this. Ignore what the people want. His peers, and I say it's a he because it's a guy who runs the state, did not vote to sanction the man. Didn't vote to go after the guy. They said, okay, boss, whatever you say.
They're like,
It's the mafia. The state house themselves won't police themselves.
you're right. They're soldiers. They're soldiers of the speaker. So how do we fix that?
Move to New Hampshire.
Well, this is why I'm running, John, because I don't want to give up on this state, okay? And I don't want to leave this state. I don't want to be separated from my family, okay? Because that's what's happening. People are being separated from their families. So what we have to do, we have to chip away at this, and we have to vote Republican. Vote for Republicans, and I'll tell you why.
What makes you think
If
a
you're-
Republican's going to give up that seat?
Say that again?
What makes you think a Republican's going to give up the Speaker of the House seat? his power.
I'm not sure what you mean. If a Republican were to be Speaker,
Yes.
well, that's a ways down the road. And
So if that happens, the Republican Speaker's not going to give up his power.
well, a Republican Speaker isn't going to be passing these ridiculous, horrible policies.
He's
Okay.
still going to be the king, and he'll tell his slaves what to do.
Well,
I think
I don't believe. I know what you're saying, but I don't believe that, because if you look at the federal government, which, as I said, I really don't want to go there, but there are Republicans that vote against the Speaker. Okay. And the biggest problem are the policies that are being handed down from that Speaker. I don't believe that if we ever get a Republican Speaker, he's going to be handing down policies like that. But that's far in the future. Right now we have to concentrate on the governor, because there are things that the governor can do without the legislature. Okay, and the governor in this state is off the rails. She's gone off the rails, completely gone off the rails. And we need to save Massachusetts. Now, if you're a Democrat, and there are a lot of people out there that are Democrats that have been Democrats their whole lives, and I hear them, people say to me, I've always been a Democrat. I've always supported the Democrats. Well, if you don't like the way things are going in Massachusetts, you don't have to change your party. But if you want to change, you don't have to, register as anything else but a Democrat. But if you want to go back to what a lot of people call themselves as the JFK party, then start voting Republican. And then finally, maybe the Democrats in this state will wake up and start moving back to the middle. Okay, we need them to start becoming moderate, moving back to the middle. They're extreme. Frankly, they're crazy. This is crazy stuff.
From the audience, respectfully, you can beat that drum about vote Republican, but it will never happen. Until the news media asks those questions, it will never happen. Back to you guys.
Okay, well, what
Okay, if I can just throw in a couple comments. I'm listening. From what I see, because I'm originally from New York, so I moved to Florida 2 years ago, just so Karla knows.
I feel like I know you, Mike, because I've watched you on this program so much. So I do know your background, and so you have as many problems. You had as many problems when you were in New York as we are having here.
So the situation I see similar to New York is in Massachusetts, the Democrats have created a self-perpetuating system.
Mm-hmm.
So because they've got so much power, overwhelming power, and what happens is, people like to have jobs. So there's a lot of jobs handed out in Massachusetts, just like New York, by government employees or whatever. So I think that people see there's problems, but it's like, well, my cousin John got a job, and if I'm really, if I continue to support the Democrats, maybe I can get a job like his.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the problem, and it all goes down the line. Well, I'm going to keep voting Democrat because they got my cousin Johnny a nice job. Even though in the meantime they're sort of stabbing themselves in the back because the taxes are going up, the services are going down, and they're not getting their fair share compared to all these new groups. The Democrats always are recruiting new groups, like you're talking about Islamics. I looked it up. There's only about a little over 131,000 Muslim population in Massachusetts. It's only a little less than 2%. But if you continue to draw in these groups, just like they're doing in New York, it starts adding up to more than 2%. You get 2% here and 3% there, 4% here, and all of a sudden now you got 60, 70%. So, and it's, once you get those benefits, you don't want to lose them. And your family, I got it, So you want to keep voting Democrat because that way you'll get it too. But, it's always easy when you got other people's money until there's no more other people's money.
Exactly.
And that's what's going on in both New York and Massachusetts.
Exactly. I mean, the middle class, the people that are aspiring to be middle class, that's where the money's coming from.
Karla,
And
can you drag that mic a little closer to your mouth, please?
and we're gonna run out of money. I mean, it's socialism. I mean, we're living under socialism right now. It's getting, it's growing. It's getting worse and worse. And when you talk about the media, Jay, that comment, that text, he's absolutely right. So what I would recommend to people is Mass Fiscal Alliance. Get their emails. Mass Fiscal Alliance. Go and to massfiscalalliance.org. Get their emails and educate yourself on what's happening. People live in bubbles. They live in certain parts of the state. They don't want to. A lot of times they don't even want to hear what's going on, what's happening to them. But you know what? Think about your grandchildren. Think about your children and your grandchildren and what's going to happen to them. Right now we have, most of the people that are leaving the state are, I believe it's between the ages of like 25 and 45, something like that. And so they're the future. They're the future of Massachusetts, but they're leaving. And their parents are here. So now, again, I talk about families getting separated. This is not a good thing.
So I'd like to break it. I have a different view of Beacon Hill than John does. Ron Mariano, the Speaker of the House, can't make his legislation law without the Senate, Karen Spilka, the President of the Senate, and Maura Healey is the governor. So I think it's more, I use the term troika. John, the producer, doesn't like that term. But I think it's the three of them working together that are...
Most people don't understand what you're talking about, Cliff.
That's why I just explained it.
Yeah, they are working together. Of course they are. And whether the state reps and the senators want to believe it about themselves or not, they are working with them.
Yeah.
So every state rep we have in this city is working against us right now.
So the other thing is elections count and voter turnout counts. In New York State, the voter turnout, especially down in New York City, the voter turnout was like 8%. And so the Democrats nominated to run for Congress members of the Democratic Socialists of America because a bunch of Gen Z people turned out to vote, and they're unhappy, and they don't see a future. So they voted for the socialists in the Democratic Party, throwing incumbents out. On the other hand, out in Arizona, 25% of the people turned out, and they returned your standard government-issued Democrat back to run in the race. So the turnout counts. And the other thing is, this morning...
When you're done, I have a counterpoint here.
When I'm done what?
When you're done, I have a counterpoint to you.
Well, go ahead, and then I'll finish up with the Boston Globe after you make your point.
Kingsborough, Colin Loisel decided, he's the town manager of Kingsborough, we're going to send everybody in town a text, it's voting day. And you know what? 20% came out and voted. City manager at Lowell says, shh, about voting day. Do not text these people. So what do we do with a government that's like that? We have Tom Golden who wants to, no changes. Shh, don't tell them to vote. And if they do vote, we will ignore it. That's the government we live in, Cliff. You can talk about the Boston Globe all you want. I
All
want
right.
to do announcements when you're done.
So this morning, the Boston Globe had a headline, Massachusetts southeastern corner is turning into a Republican hotbed. And the reporter is talking about Plymouth and Bedford. So there are places in Massachusetts where the Democrats are not totally in charge. And the desire for change may be spreading in this Commonwealth. So, yeah, John, do the announcements, then we'll get Karla to give us a little bit of her platform.
Tonight we have a candidates forum in Lowell at the High Public Market. That's 101 Page Street, right next to the John Street Garage. And it's right across the street from the John Street Garage. So plenty of parking. So they're going to have the state reps. Harina Ayer is going to be there. John Drinkwater is going to be there. And Anthony Slate's going to be there for candidates forum. Today is the 27th of July. The Lowell Senior Center is proud to have lunch 7 days a week. Unless it's a holiday, there's lunch at the Lowell Senior Center. We don't care if you live in Tingsboro, Tewksbury, Drake, we couldn't care less where you live. The only rule is you got to be 60. So come on over to Lowell Senior Center at the corner of Fletcher and Broadway Streets with $2. And we'll give you lunch. If you don't have the $2, it's okay. We'll give it to you for free. Today we have soup and sandwich. Tomorrow, pork medallions. Stuffed cabbage coming on Wednesday. Going to be a great week. Looking forward to that tuna sandwich on Friday myself. Okay, the Acre Night Out. National Night, let me shrink this down so it fits on the screen, sorry. The Acre National Night Out is going to be August 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. on the North Common. 413 Fletcher Street, there's going to be bike giveaways, free food, all kinds of good stuff. So if you like the Acre and you want to head over to the North Common, take a picture of this slide and join them over there on National Night Out. Let's shrink this guy down now too. Lower Highlands, the National Night Out at the Murray School is Tuesday, August 4th, 5 to 7 p.m. They're going to have a bouncy house, a dunk tank, games, free food. Good time to be had by y'all. So if you live up in the Highlands or you want to go to this, take a picture of this with your phone and head over there on August 4th at 5 p.m. Campaign fundraiser for Brady McCarran. Stanley Trzynski is going to host this over at the Firefighters Club Thursday, August 13th, 2026 from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. This is from Belinda Duran. Belinda Duran is having a meet and greet at the Bunny's Diner, Tuesday, August 18th, 10 to 11 a.m., Bunny's Diner, 1250 Lawrence Street. The coffee's on Belinda. She'll be happy to buy you a cup of coffee. And she does them every single month. God bless her. Great city councilor. Splash pad. You got a kiddo that can't swim? Splash pads are great. So in Lowell, we don't care if you live in Lowell, or you live in Dracut, or you live in Chelmsford. We don't care where you live. You can bring your little kiddo down to any one of these parks, enjoy that splash pad, and if the kiddo likes to swim, even better, bring them over to the South Common. This is the address for the South Common pool, or the one over in Centerville at 185 Hildreth Street. I know there are other pools, but they aren't publicized here. I don't know why, but take a picture of this slide, and any Tom, Dick, and Mary is welcome to go there. Free buses through September 30th. That's my announcements for today. Back over to Cliff. Thank you.
So, Karla, you got a platform?
I have a list. I
All
have an
right.
entire list.
Give us a
and
list.
basically, it's to totally reverse course in this state. Some of the things on the list, we need to end the sanctuary policies. We are harboring criminals. We need to stop harboring criminals in the state of Massachusetts. We need lower taxes. We need school choice. We have to do the audit. We have to do that audit. And I want to give Diana DiZoglio a lot of credit for hanging in there, and she's not going to stop fighting for it. We need to solve the homeless crisis. We need to lower energy costs. This is where I talk about socialism. This is ridiculous. If you look at your national grid bill, and you see that your supply services are, on this bill, $159, and your delivery charges are $297.85. Those are taxes. Those are taxes that they have put on us that shouldn't be there. And that's their way, another way for them to get money from us. We need to put citizens and veterans first in Massachusetts. We need to put criminals in prison. We need to stop letting criminals out of prison. We need to respect the taxpayers' money. We need to stop fraud and abuse. The government in Massachusetts needs to be transparent. We want our freedoms back. The freedoms that are being taken away from us, we want them back. And we must have a two-party system in this state. It's a must. And I'm hoping that the voters will get out there and vote for I don't know if anyone disagrees with anything that I have just said, but we're going in the opposite direction.
Karla, they have to listen to the taxpayers. They have to listen to the voters. The heck with the taxpayers. People have to respect what the voters want. And the Speaker of the House should be impeached, or whatever the fancy term is to kick the guy out of office, should be exercised. But we have a bunch of slaves who are chicken to go after their master. That includes every state rep every one of them.
I understand that, so vote Republican.
They aren't going to do anything either.
Yes, we are. John, we are a whole different breed because the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party.
Are you going to have a speaker?
In Massachusetts.
Are you going to have a speaker?
Well, we're not going to have a speaker because we're not going to, in my lifetime probably, because...
You're going to have a speaker. He or she is never going to give up their power.
We're not going to have a speaker because we're not going to get enough people in office to have, the speakership probably in our lifetime, but we need to start chipping away and have two parties. We need to have two parties.
Not every Democrat is a slave to the system on Beacon Hill and to the Troika. And Diana DiZoglio is a prime example of that.
She's not a state rep. She has no call in the State House.
She used to be a state rep.
She's not a state rep.
Yeah.
A former cop, can a former cop arrest you? Go ahead, Mike, sorry.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is coming from New York, so I can understand the issues. In New York, for a long time, the House was controlled by the Democrats and the Senate was controlled by the Republicans. So they had to figure things out and work together. Once the Republicans lost the Senate in New York, then we became just like Massachusetts now. So there's nothing to stop, all the stuff that's going on there, same thing in Massachusetts. And unfortunately, it's going to have to drive, like you say, Massachusetts, almost a bankruptcy for people to wake up. Because the younger people, the reason they're voting for these socialists, democratic socialists, is they feel there's nothing that anybody's going to do to help them. And they don't understand how it's going to make the problem worse. because that means more government control, where you want less government control. And so either they're going to stay in Massachusetts and hope that the government is going to help them, or they're going to move to states like Florida. I mean, Florida this year, the fourth year in a row, they reduced their budget. They reduced it with increased population because they have business that's thriving. They have people that have got jobs. The people are, they have less taxes. And for some reason, the socialists and the Democratic Party that's around now doesn't understand that the more government control you have, the less people are happy and have freedom in their lives. I mean, just take a look at Russia, China, Iran. I can name 10 other countries.
Mike, they're not being taught that. They have no idea. They're not being taught what socialism is. They're indoctrinated.
That's all part of the process that's been going on. If people don't know where they come from, when we were in school, they taught us about the history of the United States. They taught us about socialism, the communism, all that stuff. And now people, they don't know. So they can't make an informed decision. And social media is so, they depend so much on social media. There's so much false information out there that they don't look into, whether it's true or not. They just take it as gospel, so to speak.
I'm going to slide this text in. Until we have officials who run the cities, towns, pushing back on the state, it won't happen. If citizens want change, move out of the state and overcharge and tax them constantly. Back to you, Cliff.
I just want to comment on what Mike said. We have a state, Florida, as you said, that it should be a model for the rest of the country. It should be a model. I mean, we have a model now. If you take on the same policies and run your state like Florida is run, I mean, you don't even have to look. You don't even have to figure out how to do it. It's being done. But that's not their agenda. Their agenda is to have complete control, to control the citizens of the state of Massachusetts. And my God, if people only realize what's happening to them,
That's why Trump needs a third term.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
He's not gonna. He jokes about that.
Yes, he is. He'll change the law. Change the law, Donald. Change the law.
Change the Constitution.
Okay, whatever you want. Thank you for the correction, Cliff. Change the Constitution. Change the Constitution.
Well, it takes a bunch of states to change the Constitution.
We got him.
I don't think we need to do that. But what were you going to say?
I don't think we want a constitutional convention. That would be
No.
insane. Do not want that. The first one was insane enough. If people actually read history, it was pretty crazy. So all the stuff going on. So I don't think we want another one. The unfortunate thing is that I'll again bring up Florida. Florida's population is so much bigger than Massachusetts, and they don't have a problem with their budget, with their spending, and all this stuff because they look at government as less intrusive. Mm-hmm. Let's not have the government control stuff. And the mindset in New York and Massachusetts, we need more government control to make things better. But the only thing that's getting better is the party in power just has more power, and it's harder to get them out of that entrenched power. And that's why people are moving. The only thing that I worry about is people moving to like Massachusetts, moving to New York, moving from California to Texas, Florida, those kind of states, that they don't bring that philosophy with them. Hopefully they understand that that's not working, so they're not going to bring the same philosophy with them to the new states.
Well, Mike, in New Hampshire, they have a saying, if you come from Massachusetts, don't mass us up. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's it's sort of like an insidious plot that, you know, if we keep the population dumb, then the government, the people there can figure out, you know, will tell you what you should do. And that, all you got to do is look at these other countries and, you know, and see what's going on. But, you know, people don't take the time to realize until it's too late.
Comment from the audience. Also, the younger voter is misinformed and believe that the American dream is not achievable. Until they think independently and understand it is, it won't change. No, you got to move to New Hampshire. You can't have the American dream in Massachusetts anymore. Move to New Hampshire. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, I think you can have the American dream in Massachusetts.
Okay, would you encourage your grandson to stay here?
No, I'd encourage
What?
my friends to stay here.
Well, how about your grandson? Would you encourage him to stay here for a fruitful life?
He
I'd
has
like
his
to
reasons
yeah.
for wanting to move to Texas, including his fiancée.
So you're not discouraging him to move to Texas, are you? Massachusetts is better. Bring the bride up here.
But, you know, I'd like to repeat what...
That's a question for
I'll
Cliff.
explain the complications in the car.
I understand.
Go ahead, Karla.
I'd like to repeat what I said to the voters out there that do not want to change their party affiliation. And that is, you don't have to do that. But, I mean, I have voted, I'm a Republican, I've been a Republican my whole life. I have voted for Democrats in the city of Lowell. And so what I'm saying is, you have the power as a voter to bring your party back to the middle, to stop your party from making these, you know, really bad policies that are affecting your life. For you have the power over the legislature and over the speaker, and if you get out there and vote you vote against them, don't have to change your affiliation, just vote against them, then that they will realize that what they're doing is not the right thing. It's not right. It's not in the best interest of the people in the state of Massachusetts. So I would really encourage people to get out there and vote for the list of things that I just ran down. If you agree with that list, then vote against the party that you're affiliated with. But vote. Get out there and vote.
So, the Lowell Sun, I think, mentioned that Vanna Howard is one of the ones pushing this initiative to help Muslims integrate better into the government. Do the Democrats not understand that on the Muslim side, there's not a lot of support for LGBTQ activities?
Evidently not. Evidently not. The college, you know, the kids at Columbia in New York that protested, you know, a year or so ago, they don't understand that either. They're being lied to. They're all being lied to. It's not just that they're not informed, they're being lied to about things like that. So it is, and John said this many times, it's the media. It is the media. I mean, look at what they did when Trump's last speech. They didn't cover it. They chose on their own not to cover his speech. That's communism. Okay, that's, you know, and that's where we're trending. That's what we're trending to. It's really disturbing. It's really disturbing and concerning. And the reason I'm running is so I have a voice, and I keep trying to warn people against what's happening to them. Please go to Mass Fiscal Alliance. They are a partisan group, and they put out emails. They're not long, and they're reporting on what's happening at the State House in Massachusetts, accurately reporting. If you really want to know, if you really want to be informed and be an educated voter, then I highly recommend going to Mass Fiscal Alliance.
So we haven't seen much. New York City's seen a lot of this Democratic Socialists of America activity, but if that overtakes the Democratic Party and they start doing things like abolishing the Senate, abolishing the presidency, the Supreme Court, are other states going to secede from the Union, like, say, Florida and Texas?
Well, I mean, it's interesting you bring that up, because that means that we don't believe in any laws we have. They figured they can just do whatever they want, because the Constitution, actually says how to change the Constitution. So they talk about abolishing the Supreme Court, which is in the Constitution, abolishing the Senate, which is in the Constitution. So that means that they're totally going to they want to tear up the whole government and make it the way they think it should be. And, I don't know if people would stand for that. I really don't think so, whether you're happy or not. But part of the problem with the young people is they've been given this lie. Go to college, go $100,000 in debt, and you're going to get a good job, you'll be fine. Well, things have changed. And, the colleges have put out that fairy tale that, you go there and then you're gonna be fine. Well, when you're taking medieval history to get a college degree and going $100,000 in debt, that's not going. There is nothing that you're going to get ahead on. And the Europeans actually got it right. They have it where you apply when you're younger, and you either track to college or you track to some kind of trade or profession, and you can live on that profession. Okay. So, not everybody that's not the right path for college. I don't have a college degree, and I did fine. I went to a year of college and said, that's not for me. And, but you got to work hard. Nobody wants to put in the effort and to work hard and get ahead. They talk about the rich and the powerful. You look at somebody like, whether you like them or not, Zuckerberg, Bezos, they all started. They were working 120 hours, 150 hours a week, to build their business. They put in the effort, and they were successful. And it's for anything else. You've got to work hard to be successful and get ahead. If you don't want to put the effort in, you're not going to get the reward.
I get two comments from the audience. John, you are looking to motion to vacate the chair. Okay, that's what you want to call it. I think we should get rid of the speaker. Back in the day, politicians used to run on lowering your taxes. Why is that not a topic on run policy? Or a run policy? They all say the same thing. Taxes will never go down. Back to you, Cliff.
I'd like to, respond to that. Mike Minogue, who's running for governor, and he is an excellent, excellent candidate. He's retired, very, very successful businessman, not a politician, a businessman. And that is one of the things that he is running on. It's something that I'm running on. If we can get that audit, we know that our taxes are being wasted in this state. There's no question. The fraud and abuse, that's happening in this state, and they don't even want to do anything about it because Maura Healey will not hand over the records for, the people on SNAP benefits, because the federal government is trying to clamp down on that and trying to get rid of all this fraud and abuse. What is wrong with that? Why won't they do that?
Because the state does not have the money to keep them going to divorces, the illegal aliens. Comment from the audience. I'll bet Mike had parents that also made him accountable for his actions and his behavior. That's from Jay. Back to you guys.
I'd like to push back a little bit on what Mike said about Europe, because for a long time I thought, yes, the tracking people around age 12, 13, 14, for those who are going into the trades, sending them in one direction and sending those going on the college track in another direction, made a lot of sense to me. But it can't be rigid. My granddaughter's husband is Dutch. He's good with computers, he's good with math, but under the two-track system, he couldn't get the math courses that challenged him and made him smarter in the math area, and therefore made him better in doing computers and computing. So something terrible is happening over on the producer's desk.
Sorry, my volume was up on my phone.
No, Cliff, I agree with you what you're saying. I mean, it can't be as rigid, but and nothing's perfect. That's one of the reasons so many people who can't get into college in Europe and other countries come here to the U.S. But unfortunately, our system is not always educating people to be productive in society. And unfortunately, in our colleges, the indoctrination with thinking that's what's corrupting a lot of things. If they just went ahead and taught what they were going to work on, for subjects and all that, and let people figure things out, that would be great. But as we can see, what's going on in a lot of the colleges, it's just scary on what's going on with people now.
Well, I have two things I'd really like Karla to take down to Beacon Hill. One is, I think we need 10 additional trade schools in Massachusetts. Put them down and reapportion out, because we're not doing enough for the people wanting to go the trade school route. My other big thing is the what I call the Marie Sweeney Bridge. That I think we need another north-south highway coming off of 495. I've landed in Drake, just in the area of Lindsay's, and run it north into New Hampshire to as a way of dealing with the commuter traffic problems on Nesmith and Rogers Street.
So, Cliff, I'm taking that you don't want an audit then, because you didn't bring that up. So I'm going to guess you don't want an audit.
I don't want an auditor?
You don't want an audit. You didn't have that in the list of things you want Karla to do when she gets down there. So you don't want the audit, correct?
I think maybe
That's not fair.
Well, I just
She
figured
has
I'd
a
toss.
whole bunch
I'm just
of
putting your
things
hat
that
on,
she
Cliff.
just
You do that
talked
to me all the
about.
time. You do that to me
I
all the
think
time.
he's saying that this wasn't on my list, but I totally agree with the trade school. The trade schools having more of them, because we're if you, for example, Finnish carpenters, they're like gold. I mean, if you're a Finnish carpenter, you can name your price. There are so many, as far as electricians and plumbers, and how about tailors? What are we going to do when there are no more tailors? If you want to bring your clothes and have them altered or whatever. All these, things are, we don't have enough. We don't have enough of them, so we need to have more trade schools. And, you can do very, very well in trade school when you come out of a trade school as a plumber or electrician. I know, my husband's a retired builder, so I know some of them, and they do very well. They're very well off. It's a great it's a great way to achieve the American dream, and we do need more trade schools.
It may be my imagination, but I think we could take 10 motels and turn them into trade schools. 10 motels, buy them up around the state, and then reapportion the students to take advantage of these 10 new schools. But
Why not do that to the ICC?
perfect.
Why not have it be an extension, at least, an extension of the trade school in Lowell.
Yeah. So, go over again the things that you think are important that you want to take down to Beacon Hill.
You want me to go over that list again? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, do you have a party coming up?
I do not. I just put out just sent a large mailing, donation letters. That's where I have been successful in, getting donations. Because I have run before, it's more difficult. People are less apt to send you money. So I am able to do what I can do on not a lot of money. I have signs. I've been knocking on doors, which I have the bee stings to prove that. I was knocking Saturday morning, and I approached a door, and all of a sudden I was stung by at least 2 bees, maybe 3.
Democratic bees for sure.
Yeah. No, actually, well, they were listed as Republicans,
They were blue bees.
this house, but that was fun. So right now I don't have much money at all, but I'm running anyway. I'm running on the policies, on having good policies in this state and turning this state around.
Well, there's nobody else running for Republican, right?
Pardon
You're
me?
the only Republican running?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I want to bring up Mike Minogue again. I am helping his campaign as well. I've done quite a bit. We had him at the Owl Diner, which was very successful. We went from the Owl Diner to, I don't know if are you aware of Lou's Deli on Middlesex Street in Lowell? Have you ever been there, John?
Not yet.
Okay. Great place. Very nice inside. It's right next to the homeless shelter. And we talked to one of the owners there. His window has been broken several times. They have, very large windows in the building. So from there we went to the homeless shelter, and we spoke to Isaiah, and we took a tour. So it was myself, Mike Minogue, Sam Mies, a friend of ours, Ricardo, who is Ricardo Solis. He is a veteran, and it was very educational. It was great to have Mike see firsthand and hear firsthand from someone who's been working for the homeless people for a while, and.
They don't have an end game over there. That's their problem.
Well,
Hey,
they know what they
tomorrow's
want to
Ci-
do.
tomorrow's
They just
City
don't
Life-
have any. They just don't have the support.
They don't have an end game. They don't have an end game over there. I've been on the board. They don't have an end game. Tomorrow, they're going to have Bobby Hoey, Francisco Maldonado, Joe Espinola for state rep, Sean McDonough's coming, and Tom Palmer's coming. That's tomorrow. City Life. Time is short, Cliff.
So, it's time for your elevator speech, Karla.
All right. I'm asking the voters to trust their instincts and to use your common sense, but get educated. Look at the big picture. Look at all the things that are affecting your life right now that are happening in Massachusetts. They're not going to get better. We're going down a very dangerous road. Please don't listen to propaganda and pandering politicians. Again, Mass Fiscal Alliance, is the bipartisan or the partisan group that you want to get your information from. I would highly recommend them. So you want to vote for the person that is going to vote for you. If you don't, you are going to continue to pay the consequences. And they're getting higher and higher. The consequences are getting worse and worse. If you don't vote, you're allowing other people to make decisions for you. And that's not a good thing. That's what's happening to us right now because people don't get out and vote. Let's not let somebody else make that decision. Let's help to make that decision by voting. I hope that you'll you consider me. I hope that I can earn your vote. I hope that we can make this state affordable, accountable, and a state that we want to live in, not leave.
So, you're in 16th Middlesex?
Correct.
And that's North Chelmsford?
The Westlands in Chelmsford, which is a section of Chelmsford. Pawtuckettville and Centerville. And I also want to ask you to please go to my website, which is carlamillerforstaterep.com, and that's Karla with a K. If you want to find out more about me, and if you want to call me, I'm happy to talk to you. I have spoken. I just Saturday spoke to a voter that had concerns, and she called me, and we talked about them. I'm available to talk anytime. If you don't get me right away, I will call you back.
Okay, so, and you have ties to Lowell from your birth?
Yes, I mean, I could name you businesses starting on Merrimack Street from Wood Abbott's down, and I mean, you remember all the businesses that we had in Lowell when Lowell was really flourishing, and I've watched Lowell go up and down, and I'd like to see it come back, and I hope it can come back. But one of the ways that it's going to come back is to solve this homeless crisis.
Thanks, Karla. Nice job. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
Cliff, I'll give
Yeah,
a
thank you for coming, Karla. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mike. I feel like I've met you now, but I do listen a lot, and I've heard you speak. You're a very smart man.
Eileen, any thoughts?
Is Eileen with us?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Karla. Yes, I've been just listening.
Hi.
It's been a choppy morning for me. So, no, I wish you the best of luck, and I definitely agree. We definitely need some good change.
And Eileen, just on the school front, I don't know how much time I have. My solution to the school front is to go back to what we used to do, to go back to normal. What would solve a lot of the problems that we have right now in the schools. We need to go back to the way we used to run schools, and I mean, get rid of the computers. They have proven that the kids learn better without those computers. And I'm not talking about phones, because obviously we don't want phones. That never should have been allowed in the classrooms. But now, are you in Westford now?
I did a long-term sub position. It was only February through April. But I keep having transportation issues with my son. So he goes to school in the out-of-district placement, and the transportation piece is like tough. Trusting your kid with somebody 45 minutes away.
Wow.
So I've been kind of skittish with getting a job.
Yeah.
Full time.
Well, the show is over. Mike,
Yep.
thanks for.
You're still on YouTube and stuff.
All right. So,
So Cliff, there's no shows during the month of August, if I remember John mentioning that, right?
that's right.
So we're not going to start until probably after Labor Day, I would think, because I think Labor Day is always, what, the first Monday?
Yep.
Next live show is,
So our first one would be the 14th of September then?
August 31st.
August 31st, he says.
There is, August 31st, okay. So August 31st, all right. I just need to know, because we're on a cruise. I'm not sure, well, no, we'll be back before that, okay. August
Okay.
31st would be the next
Oh,
one.
I'd love
All
to
right.
do Zoom from the
Thank you,
cruise,
sir.
that'd be good. Zoom from the cruise.
Oh, you're gonna be on a cruise?
You can Zoom from a cruise, yeah.
No, but you're going on a cruise?
No, Mike is going
Oh,
up.
Mike's, I'm sorry.
I'm going on a cruise, so the 31st, okay, that'll be good. All right, I'm going to let you guys go then, and we'll be talking again on the 31st of August, all right?
That's great, enjoy the vacation, thank you.
Bye,
Okay,
Mike.
we'll
Bye,
see ya.
Mike. Bye,
Bye.
Eileen. I don't know.
Eileen, are you still there?
Well, that's too bad about Eileen's son.
I don't know if Eileen's gone or not.
She's gone.
Can her son, is her son, I don't know, I've heard about some of his issues, but